Now, it's very important that we show that Democrats and Republicans in Congress
silences commercial pilots.
An explosive hearing in the U.S. Congress has brought the spotlight back to the age-old question, are we alone in the universe? Both Republicans and Democrats came together in an unprecedented show of bipartisan support for transparency about these reported encounters with the third kind.
Executive service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments operated in orbit.
During the hearing, former intelligence officers and retired military officers went on record to say that the U.S. government was in possession of alien aircraft and possibly alien bodies too. Former United States Air Force intelligence officer David Grush claimed that the U.S. government had conducted a multi-decade program to collect and reverse engineer crashed UFOs.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision, based on the data I collected, to report this information to my superiors and multiple inspectors general, and in effect becoming a whistleblower. As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency.
Have you faced any retaliation or reprisals for any of your testimony or anything on these lines?
Yeah, I have to be careful what I say in detail because there is an open whistleblower reprisal investigation on my behalf, and I don't want to compromise that investigation by providing anything that may help provide somebody information. But it was very brutal and very unfortunate, some of the tactics they used to hurt me both professionally and personally, to be quite frank.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All 4 of us.
Another witness, David Fravor, a former Navy commander, recalled a strange object during a training mission in 2004.
As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All 4 of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cap point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute." You can calculate the speed. We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to them, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video.
UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare.
A third witness, retired Navy pilot Ryan Graves, said he witnessed an unidentified anomalous phenomena off the Atlantic coast for years.
In 2014, I was an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy Fighter Attack Squadron 11, the Red Rippers. And I was stationed at NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach. After upgrades were made to our jet's radar systems, we began detecting unknown objects operating in our airspace. During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned to base. Our squadron submitted a safety report, but there was no official acknowledgement of the incident and no further mechanism to report the sightings. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight briefs.
UFOs, or unidentified flying objects, have been a source of public fascination for decades. The United States Air Force coined the term in 1952, but 5 years before that, pilot Kenneth Arnold flew past Mount Rainier in Washington state and described what he saw as 9 bright saucer-like objects. In 1953, the United States Air Force started a catalogue of sightings called Project Blue Book. Before shutting down the project, more than 12,000 unexplainable sightings were reported. In 1961, a couple in New Hampshire claimed that they were abducted by aliens. In 2014, a Jet Airways pilot reported that she saw a mysterious object during her flight from Pune to Ahmedabad. In 2023, Chinese authorities reported an unidentified object around the Qingdao region. The claims of extraterrestrial sightings continue to this date. Pop culture has also shaped our understanding of aliens, from E.T. to The X-Files to Men in Black. For decades, film and television have been fascinated with aliens. Whether UFOs exist and what impact they have on our lives, the search for answers continues.